So I think that's on.
Hi, everybody.
You can scoot back a little bit. I don't know if you have to be up in there.
I know, but I just want to get close first and say hi.
Yeah, well, welcome everybody.
Welcome to our Gradio.
So once again, we are at a new setup, not new setup, but
working the kinks out of this setup as we get everything together, and it is almost 100% complete.
It's going good. We finally got some lighting in here.
We got a real camera. This is hopefully a lot better. With us moving, you won't see any lag or anything like that. You'll get a straight capture.
Hope everybody's doing good this Wednesday.
Hello, Mr. Moody. How you doing?
Andrew Orfishakol.
I got it, dude. I'm gonna take. She still doesn't have it. We need to phonetically put it together for her. All right. Just text her or Pashal, and then like give it a phonetic development.
Hope you guys are having a good week. I love to just blurt that out every week, but more importantly, we love the support. So good to get back into our element and teach a little bit. We sure do miss seeing your faces.
If you're having problems with the audio or anything right now, we just
let us know how it's sounding.
Put it in the comments. If you can hear us fine, give us a thumbs up that everything's okay. Just from the few of you that are on that starts this, you guys help us figure out if things are working correctly. And if there's any problems, put it in the chat box. And our buddy in Germany who stayed awake for our later session today, Andreas, you are amazing. Thank you very much for your help. You are always someone we can count on for this, and we appreciate it. And so do all the people that watch.
Yeah, it's really cool in our community. These angels that we have that help make everything click. And it's really just as important as the instruction are the people that are, putting down the floor. I know when we run Swingcouver, we learned really quickly. You hear event directors say, "Oh, I couldn't do it without the volunteers." Or can you adjust that so I can remember?
Yeah, I can totally. Yeah.
Oh, I couldn't do it without the volunteers, and you're like, yeah, of course. And if you are a volunteer, you realize what that thank you means. But until you've actually had the opportunity to benefit from these volunteers and see the time they put in, it's tremendous. You wish you could have a better way to thank them. I'm sure there's not an event director on this planet that doesn't feel the same way about their team and their volunteers, especially right now as you're seeing more and more events are having to drop the news of what's going on. Swing Time 2020 is going to be pushed to 2021. This would be our first year taking the reins, and we want to do it justice and safely. And so we are going to spend the next year riding this wave with you guys and figuring out what's safe and the best way to get us all back together soon. I'm sure that a lot of you are probably starting to get to see small groups or even maybe just one person of friends and hopefully getting to practice. So this is our West Coast Swing Wednesdays that we have every single week. We've been doing this since the beginning of COVID, and we've also been building our new website that has an on-demand library with instruction leveled and choreo treatments for practice at different levels. There's a lot going to be coming up. So the launch of that is next Monday. That is June 15th. We will be launching our on-demand library. Our new membership program will be beginning. And this Wednesday class at 6 o'clock will now be part of the membership program. What we are going to do is still offer you a drop-in rate. So if you're at the point where that's not something you can do and you still want to pop in for class, you can do that weekly, and you're more than welcome to do that. If you want to be with us on a more regular basis and see the program we've built for you, there are a couple options. You can check it out on our old school website that's up right now. And then you can join us on Monday for our new launch. We'll be going live at one point, letting y'all know what's
Okay, it's gonna be
going on.
a sharp pop.
1, 2, 3, there we go. That's Kyle and his staple gun.
Don't you mind me?
Yeah. This studio, Garagio is Jimmy rigged like you don't even know. But
Jimmy rigged?
it's safe. I mean, it's pretty.
It's totally pretty.
Last night after the kids were down and asleep, Kyle and I came in here with a bottle of wine and
2 little ones.
yeah, and just choreographed and got more material ready for our new site. And this space is so cool because it feels like we're like hiding from our parents, but from our kids in the garage, and it's our creative space. I love it. It's really exciting. So welcome to our space. Thank you so much, David Moody. Jameson's here, a good friend from Fresno. Kay Newhouse. Oh my gosh, girl, you have been such a light on my feed, my news feed. You are just such a community builder, and I'm so inspired by you. I love you to pieces. We can't wait till we can get back to one of your events, my love. Cannot wait. I'm excited. Japan! Oh my gosh! So, check this out. The Japanese culture is absolutely one of the most, like, I don't know, heartfelt communities I've come across. And they got Savannah, speaking of Savannah, a lot of you saw it was her 2nd birthday yesterday. She turned 2 years old. Actually, it was the day before yesterday, on the 8th. She turned 2 years old, and really I enjoyed the non-stress of having a 2-year-old, so we didn't like make a super overly big deal out of it, other than we made her a cake, and I got her a cute little outfit, and I planned this cute little table, and I wanted,
This is just me coming in to check
a
stuff.
baby book moment, because that's really what you're going for it too. And this little girl sat up there and enjoyed every moment and had us sing to her for 20 minutes. It was the coolest thing. It was probably one of the best birthday parties I've ever been to, because I've never seen a human being enjoy opening up a card that sings happy birthday, or loving the box that her little new bike came in more than the bike. Like, it's just a reminder of if we really stop trying so hard, it won't be hard to please ourselves. You know what I mean? Like, we used to be just happy with like a musical card or a box rolling down a hill. Like, kids give you that reminder. I love it. Yeah.
She was cute as heck.
Yeah, but anyways, back to the outfit. So they got Savannah a traditional outfit from Japan, and she's about to fit in it. I have it out. So actually, I will definitely share that. I can't wait to share that. So West Coast Swing Wednesdays, this is what you get. You get about 10-15 minutes of us chatting and catching up with you, asking you how your week went. Starting next week, we will begin reviewing what we did the week prior, and then we will go into new material, and not a lot. What we're doing on Wednesdays is a tune-up. We're going to be talking to you about how to be a better partner, techniques to apply, drills to use, and not overwhelming you, because hopefully you are outsourcing your dance education through a really good solid foundation, and that means multiple different corners. You want to find different instructors that are able to build the dance that you're searching for. Yeah?
That's gonna be us. Totally gonna be us.
I'm so PC, it's crazy.
I know.
Thank you, Kay.
Sarah's
I
trying to be
love
so
that.
nice.
Oh, Teresa McGarry's here. I love that. That's
hi,
great.
Teresa.
I miss you guys.
She's still in SAC. Are you in SAC still?
She's
girl?
probably in SAC, I would guess, still.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Miss you.
Pretty cool.
For all of you that have already signed up for our site, we are busy getting everything ready.
Thank you so much. We're so excited. Like,
and the site is sick.
that motivates us so much. Those of you who have gone and signed up and been like, nope, I know they're going to bring it. I'm going. I can't even tell you what that does for my confidence. Thank you. It really.
And I can't tell you, like, going through and trying to set up all the, because we want it when people get there to all of you get there to have a something to do. I feel like sometimes we get to websites and there's like, oh, I just get my stuff, and we're really working hard on our about page because we're doing a full story about us separately in our lives, and then it comes together, and then it goes back apart when we do different things away from each other, and then it back together.
He's excited about that page.
Yeah, and I love the concept that we did with this. We've also got all of our videos from all of our past routines are going to be starting to load up onto that. We did a bunch of that when we did the R Dance interview, and we already pulled all the video off, so
Yeah, it
we've got
was
that ready
pretty
for you guys to
cool.
see.
Yeah, it was exciting, and I'm really, now you guys have seen the announcement that Phoenix 4th of July, Wild Wild Westy, and Westy on the Promenade are coming together, and for a weekend, having an online awesome lineup, really great pros. I'm super
Well,
excited.
because they have us.
And you know what I love?
Great pros.
I love that they found a way to
Is
like
that
try
Melina
to
Ramirez?
help Melina.
Oh my goodness!
Oh, I'm
Blast from
giving
the
you an air
past.
hug, and you and your gorgeous, lovely family. Oh, girl, I miss you.
Hi, Colin.
How exciting! Those of you, Melina Ramirez. Those of you, most of you have probably met her. If you haven't, she is in Australia, working on West Coast Swing there with her lovely family.
She was an OG Ben Morris
Yeah,
partner.
she's thrown down a lot of good West Coast Swing routines, and
Go
you're
put
gonna
that name
see
in.
that.
Go put that name into your YouTube. You'll see a ton from Melina.
You're gonna see that the weekend of the U.S. Open. I'm looking forward to them playing back a lot of those routines.
Oh yeah.
Especially the ones like we used to like binge watch and fangirl. Like I still fangirl when I see Martin Parker. Like I love him. I hang out with him plenty, but still when I first see him,
Oh, his all brown outfit.
dude,
dance
I
routine,
still be like,
the little kicks and the throwbacks.
yeah.
Oh, it's great. Yeah.
like that star like thing, like Lorene Baldovi, still. Charlotte, like I still, my first initial reaction is like,
You know, it's really
She's
cool.
a
They're
nice-
gonna be playing routines that aren't just winning routines. We have a lot of those, first of all, because they didn't win. But
finally our
but-
day has come.
But what's really cool is to be able to watch other routines that maybe we haven't even seen. You know, you get kind of thrown into the mix at the Open.
And I bet you there are going to be some routines that we don't even know we've done. Like, because we would just like throw out routines and we still do that now. It's like we'll hear a song in the mall and God look at me. He's like, did we
Did we dance
did we dance to this?
No, we choreographed
No,
that
we
for such and
choreographed
such.
it, yeah. It's interesting to go through that. It's fun. Doug Stilton, how are you doing? Man, are you?
Oh, he was just at Pete's.
He's so entertaining. I love watching all your fun videos, Doug. You're awesome. Can't wait to see your new places going up. He was visiting Pete Green.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
Jealous.
cool. Pete Green did our new logo,
Oh, you'll
which
see it in
you
the
can see very lightly.
here in the corner.
We have a new logo
There's our
piece
logo.
we made for the wall, just really small, because
Our
we have a
logo.
lot of plans for the back of this wall.
That's a K and an
I don't
S. I
think
hope you
Kyle
guys
and I
get
will be
it.
the only ones in front of the back of this wall,
I hope it makes sense.
right?
But
Right in front of the back of this wall.
yeah, there's gonna be a over here though. But
Yeah.
right now it's just a watermark in the corner.
Anyways, so I think everybody's about going good. How's our time, sweetie? What are we looking at?
Sounds all good. Are we ready to teach these people something today? 5 minutes? All right, we can push a little bit. One of the things that I think we've all been kind of dealing with all week is protests and riots, and we have had
Two totally different groups of people.
yeah.
I have to
Tara
say,
Travsler did a great interview this week, and if you guys haven't had a chance to go see that, check it out. I'm sure it's on her Facebook page.
it was pretty cool. And I watched one last night with Grace Killalea.
Oh yeah.
She had, I should know her name. I'll have to look it up. I just learned of her. I loved her. Her job is bringing awareness to society of the struggle that's going on.
Oh,
And
wow.
she's been doing this for years, and so she's a great resource. In fact, I'll share that. Grace Killalea, if you guys don't follow her on Facebook, you should. She's super inspiring, and she's a pillar in this dance community and really instrumental to a big part of the history. And I know women in this community look to her for inspiration, and she's been great during this whole COVID. Just positive messages constantly. And tomorrow on Thursday, I heard Robert, Royster, and Brandy are doing Wine Coast Swing,
Oh, yeah.
and they're having an awesome open discussion. There's a lot of great pros that are there, and we're going to be there supporting that. Make sure you
Yep.
are too. I love our community. That's what we do. We come together and we work together, and we are all about evolving and change and doing better, and I love that. Yeah?
So this is our.
Action.
Before we get started, we got to do like a little pause moment so that we can reset the camera recording for you guys, so you don't have to deal with 15 minutes of us chatting with you when you want to go back and watch this. So
this, of course, will be recorded, this workshop, and every Wednesday we'll have this so that you can then, like Kyle said, not have to listen to
all the extras.
Yeah.
Now we've
before you go
got
back.
multiple different camera views, and we'll show you those
Tyler,
real
can
quick.
you show that?
We've got an overhead view. Out angle, so
We'll figure that
that
out.
will
Then
be
we've got a side
closer.
view that's
Side view now.
Able to try to give this to you in multiple different angles. When you come to kylesarah.com next week and join our membership, or you can join today, you're going to be able to control
Your viewing.
your view as the user. So as you're
So instead
watching
of us
our
clicking through it.
entire library, you're going to be able to choose to watch a full video or a partial, however you'd like, from many different angles. And we're hoping that helps us all in the transition to learning online. And I think that once we're in person, you're going to see also things shift in the instruction. So what I'm excited about as growing as an instructor is sharpening those skills and being able to get a more well-rounded, complete library for you guys, where you feel like you can find us every single week, but then you also know where we're traveling to once we get back on this plane.
So one of the things that we're doing with our site, we are offering the weekly classes that come with the site. You can't pop in on those if you want to pay as you go, but we are offering a bunch of different things with our membership. So please go check out the options
One
on
of
our
the
page.
things that we're excited about is at events and workshop weekends, Kyle and I are going to be dedicating 1 hour to members only for a floating coaching session. And what that means is for the weekend, let's say you want to come practice with your Strictly Swing
Well, we're
partner.
hoping it's going to be a get you ready for your comps
We're
kind of
hoping
class.
that's what it is, so that
And-
if you have a quick question or you need an adjustment, that you have a check-in every weekend. And by being a
And-
member, you get to do that when you're with us at an event.
And we're working it out with each of the event directors so that we can set an hour aside in one of the rooms for questions, answers, and performance development, just to get you guys ready and mentally
We're
set.
so excited
for
to
comps.
have like regulars while still getting to Sunday paint the globe again.
I feel like we always got our best runs when we would have a coaching session the weekend that we get our minds straight. So I feel like if we can kind of answer any questions in those moments, anything we worked on in class here, and you see us there, those hours will be set aside for members only.
Cool.
Yeah?
All right, we're gonna do
So-
our break so we can start our workshop. Hope you're ready. If you want to just sit and listen, that's cool. If you want to stand up and engage, that's cool too. You're never gonna need a lot of space. Cool.
All right, so we're gonna go. There'll be like 5 seconds of silence, guys, and then we're gonna get started. All right, going in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and silence. Hi guys, Kyle.
Sarah.
Welcome to West Coast Swing Wednesdays.
Hey.
It is that time. We're here to teach. Our goal this week. This is our last free class before it starts up with our paid stuff. So
Yeah, this
welcome back in.
week, We're excited to share with you a concept that really is the foundation of our teaching theory, and that is West Coast Swing the next level.
Now, if you have trained with us, you will know this concept. It never hurts to hear it again, or maybe you hear something this time that you didn't hear before. So stay tuned, stay with us, and let us kind of take you on a little journey of how we develop our dance in basics.
So let me explain to you really quick how this was kind of assembled in a nutshell. It's not exactly this short, but it's going to be quick. Kyle and I, when we were super green, brand new, our first job over, first or second, third job over to
It's on a
Europe.
cruise.
No, it was to Europe, and we got invited to one of the Modern Jive, the massive events.
I'm
And they're
sorry.
like,
Yes.
hey, there's going to be like 700 people or 500 to 700 people at this event. And we're like, cool, we're going to get to show West Coast Swing. We were like 20, we're super excited. We get over there, haven't slept all night, and we walk in and no, there's not like 700 people at
the
this
event.
There's that many in the workshops.
There's 750 people in one
Like,
room.
so they have you on this stage and they have you on a camera.
Okay,
and
so they haven't warned us about this. So we walk out and they're like, okay, from right here to right here, don't get outside the space. There's a camera right there that's going to be shooting everything you do.
and it
You're
was
mic'd
like a
up.
basketball
Now, we
court,
need you
like
to stay in
NBA
here.
style, right?
We need you to stay in here because there's 300 people in another room that are watching this and need to be taught as
And
well.
so they have rotating captains, and all the people coming to the workshops already know how to take workshops like this super big. And they're like, yo, you're gonna have 4 hours today of 45-minute classes to teach them West Coast swing. There you go. And back in that day, like that was an 8-week course, hour at a time, so much specifics taught. I literally lost it, and I was like, I'm in over my head. In over my head. And Kyle looked
Did
at
you
me.
just act out in over my
In
head?
over my head.
That's not
Kyle
bad.
looked at me and he like grabbed my face and he's like, I'm like, we can't do it. And he's like, yes, we can. We're super people. And from that day forward, ever since we've been too tired, didn't think we were gonna make something. We always go, we are super people. But honestly, it made me snap out of it and go, okay, so what? No matter what, after they're done with us, anywhere they go in the world, what could we teach that's going to be West Coast swing? And if we only could teach for 20 minutes of material, what would it be? Now, this is the day that this changed our life. So we knew that no matter where we go, that people are going to use 6 and 8 beat rhythm structure, primarily 6, the majority.
Easy.
That's walk, walk, triple step, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. We know that there's going to be someone leading and someone following. And yeah, of course, we know there's always those variations where there's moments building together, but we're in general.
What's the
yeah?
gist?
We know that there is going to be a series of pushes, passes, tucks, whips. Yeah? Pushes, passes, tucks, whips.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we know that it's going to be slot, right? It's going to be linear, it's going to be in a slot.
So we have to just throw this at these people and hope it sticks.
Right. So now, what ended up happening is from this moment, it caused us to realize that even if I taught somebody for 8 weeks West Coast swing, they're still gonna be really difficult to get the connection and the rhythm because it's an advanced dance at a beginning level. So pretty soon, this is where the birth of the next level started 20 years ago, and it developed to where we are now. So we know that we have, how many basic patterns would you
I'd say
say?
it's 5. I call 5. You got 12 in some people's thing, but I think for me, as long as and actually it's really 4 if you count one of our patterns the same way twice, because you got pushes, passes, whips, and tucks. Well, a tuck turn is kind of a push turn if you're doing
Or
a
a
sugar tuck.
pass.
Yeah, or it's a pass. So
Right.
when it gets into the tucking, it can still follow into the same 2 different groups. Okay, so we've got a sugar push, underarm turn, a side pass, a whip, and a tuck. And really, every other pattern is some form or derivative of these patterns. I don't think we should try and break these down any deeper or spread out the basic concept much more than that. It's simple enough with 5. Now, once we have these 5 basics, we understand those very, very, very well. Now, when we get those in order, we now understand different dimensions within our dance. We're different pattern structures within our dance. We've got different length within our dance. We've got different width within our dance. We've got different height within our dance. We've got different rotational times within our dance, and we've got different time orientations within our dance. Now we have those options, but are also done with different handholds. We've got a natural handhold that can be done. We've got right to left that can be done. We've got right to right that can be done. We have left to left that can be done. We have right to left that can be done. We have 2-hand hold, 2-hand right cross, 2-hand left cross, no hands, and all the places I can legally touch. So now that we have those options, we have the ability to take the dance and play with it in very simplistic ways. To me, when we take this dance and we try and make it too complex too early, dancers just like, they fembot and they explode.
Because really, somebody needs to get a chance to try on the dance to know if they like it. And I think many times, things get so complicated, and as you start to layer technique and learn more of West Coast swing, you need to be able to have a fundamental basic that can still stay true on these higher levels when you're wanting to try different things. And by us going through the dance, it made me go back and test and find the places where I was falling short and find those holes and absolutely be able to keep my integrity in my dance because I started to believe in a structure that gave me freedom. I want to be able to still identify as West Coast swing, but I want to be able to modernize and change as style and music moves on. And so for us, this has been really instrumental. In West Coast swing, all of the basic patterns are named after the action the follower carries out, right? So sugar push, the follower comes forward, pushes, moves back. Underarm turn, follower goes under the arm and turns. Side pass, pass the side. Tuck, follower's body is tuck. Whip, followers whip from one side of the slot to the other. Yes? So for me, a sugar push is a 6-beat rhythm structure, right? I come forward and back in a slot. Boom, and how
But that's
big,
if I lead it.
right, how big my steps are, how small my steps are, whether or not I lead with a heel, lead with a toe, because I want to make a stylistic change, that has nothing to do with my basics. What is going to be in every basic sugar push is 6 beats, a leader and a follower, a slot, and either a push, pass, whip, or tuck, right? That's what's going to happen in West Coast Swing Basics.
So one of the things that we're doing with our program online is we want to almost in a way reset some of you. Not that we need to reset everybody, but having a reset moment kind of ties you back in and lets you reevaluate your basic structure. What I'd like for you guys to do that are coming into the series is take the beginning workshop. Because if you understand how we develop our basics, it'll make a lot more sense to how we manage the dance through its basic form. And then as we elevate, I work in this concept called model thinking, where I build everything based on the thing previously. So what I like to do is I like dancing as a leader to be in time oriented. I ask for something and something responds and happens. And there's a call to response to everything that we do, and a direct feedback the other direction, but that's a much higher concept later on. But if we can build that call to response orientation as a leader, it's kind of learning how to drive, kind of like learning how to drive, not telling you how to drive, but letting you discover how driving is affecting what's going on around you, or how you're affected in your drive by things going on around you. So we turn our basics into something that is about us producing pattern structure, rather than me learning my part, Sarah learning her part, and then hopefully putting these things together and then them fitting. A lot of times that just is it's a separation of parts. Well, I'm supposed to do this. I'm supposed to do that.
And what ultimately I think led us to a little bit of this feeling is the coaching that we went through ourselves. We would go to these great masters of the dance, and they would have very different concepts, and in the lesson it felt great and it worked. And then we would go to another instructor that teaches a complete different concept. It would feel good and it would work, and we would be baffled, like, okay, well, why can't I do both? But both of them are saying only their way. And so we started to realize, okay, let's stop finding the differences and let's start finding the common denominators, and let's make that our fundamentals. What is everybody using no matter what? Because this dance is so young and it's still shaping itself. And so if we can simplify so that we can create, that's super awesome. But we still have to be able to follow the integrity of the dance and what that is, because that's part of what makes the game fun. So for me, followers, I will try working on my basics in many different shapes. For me, a basic sugar push in basic form is that I'm ready to move forward and back. I have counterbalance. I can move forward and back at any moment. I am able to roll through my feet, so I'm releasing my feet off the ground with a roll, and I'm able to keep a rhythm going. You know, walk, walk, triple, triple. I have a really good frame that I'm able to manage compression and leverage and steering from, and then I let my leader put momentum and direction into me. And some leaders may give you a lot of momentum with a lot of compression, or may shift or steer you, and that's the fun part, is figuring that out on the fly. So it's important that you condition and train yourself for the unexpected, not to prepare for things to just go one way, because hey.
And to me, discovery as a leader is one of the best forms of learning. It allows me the time to figure out what I've done and see the process, and then get feedback in time. So if you can learn by putting yourself to these odd, strange positions and areas, you'll learn how to manage through them when they hit you on the dance floor. I hate to practice perfect. I like it when things go wrong, because it gives me the ability to fix myself. Sarah and I always have a saying, practice doesn't make perfect, it just increases your repertoires of ways to fix your mistakes.
Because perfection is really in the eye of the beholder, and that is so true.
You're perfect to me.
Yeah, you're perfect to me. Totally perfect. All the
I
way.
am perfect.
You're just
My
perfect.
mom said I was perfect.
You're perfectly Kyle.
Perfect Kyle. I'm the perfect Kyle.
No, but I'm saying, like, you know, that image of, look at what just happened with COVID. I bet all of us had a beautifully planned
Summer.
Like, what we were going to do. And so the
All our
best you
events
can
lined
do,
up, everything we wanted to learn,
Yeah.
where we were going to go.
and everything changes. And so all you can do is prepare. Prepare yourself for the unexpected. And until then, carry on. And so for me, followers, I try not to set myself up for failure by expecting too much out of my leader stylistically or
Thank you.
to a song.
I appreciate that.
I find that I have a lot more fun when I don't put expectations on any relationship, even a 2 or 3 minute one.
What?
Yeah.
2
So,
minutes.
yeah.
Much longer than that.
Yeah, totally. So, followers, something that I'm going to do is I'm going to walk you through a couple different ways to practice implementing elements.
Matthew Howell?
Oh my gosh.
Matt Howell. Oh my goodness.
Matt Howell.
What's up, dude?
Stop.
Okay, so
we would love to see you.
dude, text me after
Oh
this
my
is over.
gosh, we
Yeah.
just went through all
Love
of our
to
old
see
videos.
you, man.
So Matt Howell, who is on right now, was with us on the dance team when we first started.
The
We all
beginning,
started
like
together
just for kicks dancing.
at 15, 16 years
I just
old
got
as
goosebumps.
kids.
Good to
And
see you, man.
we have so many good memories, but it's so funny how dancing is like you grew up in the same neighborhood. It's like we're your family forever, right? It's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
Good to see you, man.
Yeah, good to see you.
All right, so let's get back to this. So let's go back. So we've got our 5 basic pattern structures, or we've got our sugar push, underarm turn, side pass, whip, and tuck. We've got multiple different dimensions. We've got our length, we've got our width, we've got our height, we've got our rotation, and we've got our time. Then we have different hand holds. We've got natural hand hold, we've got right to left, left to left, 2 hands right cross, 2 hands left cross, no hands, legal positions to touch.
Right?
So what we can do now is we can learn to build these into our dance as a beginner. So in a simple way, we'll just take a basic sugar push right now and we'll show it a little bit longer. So my normal sugar push would be just this, right? So now if I take that same sugar push and I make it a longer on the back half, I can make it longer on the front half, I can make it longer all the way through both parts.
But the problem is if I'm already committed to where I'm going to put my foot down on 3 and
As a follower.
practice that, followers, I now am not open to that texturing the same way. And I find that to be boring, right?
Totally.
Because it's one
Dance
dance.
is gonna change.
We have to find different ways to do this one dance. That's what's West Coast Swing to me. I will always be interested, is because of that option. And so followers, I want you to be able to experience that.
So the same way that we added length to that point, is the same way that we take it away. So I can take a sugar push, just imagine I'm in a smaller space now, my sugar push becomes shorter. Whether it's on the front half or the back half, I've got a smaller sugar push, all right? But my sugar push is perfect. So, now, we've got the concept of having the sugar push within its length, right? So we know that length can be many, many different things. So play with the concept of what length is in the pattern structure. Now, next, we've got width. So I'm gonna take that same sugar push, and I'm gonna make this go wider in the framework. Now, I could go wider the other direction too. 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, and 6. Now, is it a pattern I might use? I don't know, but if it shows itself and I know the direction is starting to come in, say I've drawn my follower in across the body a little bit, and as I've gotten here, I feel my follower arcing the space out, I know that that space to draw back into is something I'm used to. I'm not foreign to that action. I'm now aware of it and I can make adjustments to it as I feel it. Not that my follower did anything wrong, I just know how to manage what it is that just happened.
So followers, something that I something I pay close attention to. Kyler, can you go overhead for me really quick? So something I pay close attention to, and you'll hear us talk about this nonstop, is the tracking. By me being able to keep my arm in alignment, I can guide and read how much rotation my leader needs me to have. So now I can feel that steering. So many of us followers were aware of the forward and back connection, the leverage and compression, but you're not paying attention to the resistance that needs to happen in rotation.
And this will move independent sometimes.
Right, and so many times you'll miss a moment like that. Stay in the overhead, Kai. So many times on this, you'll end up getting this glitch, and then you'll follow behind it, and I can see that. What I would like is for you to follow in the moment, that your feet are catching your frame, and you're keeping your body, you pay attention to your body's distance from your arm. Not just how much my leader is moving, but I pay attention to my dance space inside of my frame so that I have room to make adjustments. And a lot of times followers will either lock this too close in, and so you don't allow tethering and you rotate too quickly, or there's no response. I want you to constantly be guiding and gauging that. You can go ahead and go forward. Thank you, Kai. So I am constantly maintaining the connection. There's never a time that I'm just checked out on it. And as I maintenance that, I try to use my movement to do so. Yeah, so I need it moving and active and adjustable so that the connection can feel good while I'm dancing.
All right, so we've messed with length. Now we've got an understanding of width. Let's deal with height. Sarah is missing some. So in this concept though, we can take this and we can elevate this or drop it down. So if we start in our neutral space, lifting it or dropping it in our body is height differencing, right? So if we can, we're gonna start with the drop down into 3. 1, 2, I can lower the sugar push. I can raise the sugar push. Now depending on what I feel in the music will determine what I do with it, okay? Now I can do it on the front half, on the 1, 2, rise it up, compress it down into 3. I can drop it down 1, 2, lift it up into 3. But remember, what we're talking about is giving elevation changes, a height change within your basic structure.
What about rotation?
Now, next one, rotation. We have to be able to give length and take length with this, but how do we turn this? So if I can, I've got rotation that happens in many different ways. So if I think sugar push with rotation, most of the time when we deal with this, we're dealing with it in the center concept, like the 3 and 4 area, so that we can A, develop smoothly, and B, get back to the next pattern structure smoothly.
C, like B didn't
yeah,
even exist.
B doesn't even exist. So if we can imagine that we're working with the middle structure here. So if I wanted to turn Sarah rotationally, add 3 back into 4, now I've got 5 and 6 to manage the recovery. If we're always trying to adjust this and almost fake out our partners, it's not an easy development, okay? So if you can, start out with the simpler ones. To me, the simpler ones are the middle ground. Development in and recovery out. But the middle ground is where we're playing with the dimension on the rotation, yeah? Now, I can take that rotating it right or left. So the first one is rotating it out. Now this one's gonna rotate in to send back out for anchor in. Now, I wouldn't do this on the front end because rotation at the beginning would be kind of weird to go into. Doesn't mean that I can't use it for movement, because if I wanted to walk someone in this position, 1, 2, 3, 4, there's nothing wrong with that.
Ew, I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it.
I know, but
Let
it
me tell
really
you
comes
something
down
right now.
to it really comes down to interpretation
never
in those
looks-
moments.
Like, I'm not a big, here.
Oh, is the leader backing up
No,
and doing
no,
the walking?
this is my irritation. I'm sorry. I can't help it, guys. I just wear this dance on my body way too much not to say anything. Please, do not take 2 hands and lock me down unless you're gonna make a really cool shape or you're on your way to something. If you're just grabbing my 2 hands like that, and then you just go like, ooh, 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 a 3 and 4 and a 5 and 6, I'm like, yo, I could have
Just
totally
make it a
danced
basic.
that whole time.
Just make it a basic.
It's a pet peeve that I gotta like, okay.
All right, so we understand we're dealing with rotation. Now, where does that rotation go? For us right now, I want you to stick with the 3 and the 4 area. Don't go into 5 and 6 too much, or 1, 2 until you get to more advanced structure. Yes? Length, width, height, rotation. What's our last one? Time. So to me, time is a real strange one because I think there should be something in the music that helps us kind of divide out of our basic and timing to be able to then draw it back into its natural timing. So to me, it would be something where I would take in delay time 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. It's still the sugar push. We did adjust the timing, but we were able to do that while still maintaining or preserving the structure that we had within that. Yeah? So if we can imagine, time is something we can also accelerate. So a lot of times if we did a sugar push, and we went 1, 2, 3, 4, we could actually start this ending way sooner by accelerating into it. So we've now either added time or we've subtract time. And for me, I like to live in both worlds because there's times that I find I'm panicking for a second. Oh my goodness, there's a break coming. I've got to hit it, and I'm in the middle of a sugar push. So it's 1, 2, 3. Oh my gosh, there's the break. And it just happens that I'm able to throw that out and catch that last moment to be able to hit my break.
See, again, I'm gonna say this too.
Time
Listen,
extension versus time.
I feel bad for Kyle. It's probably one of the reasons you're so good is because I'm so picky.
I'm not good.
Yet. Not yet. I'll get you there, buddy.
Oh, I was just gonna say I'm great.
I'm just kidding, guys. Just kidding, not really. No, but this is what I'm saying. Okay, so you're just gonna shoot it out like that, but then, okay, I know the break's coming too. So if that's the situation, best, just let me choose how I'm gonna hit it. Like, unless you got a good idea, because you're the leader.
That was a good idea. I hit the brake.
No, like, so to me, like, it's already too late, dude.
Bad planning.
If you're in the middle of a sugar push and you're 2 beats out.
It happens though, come on. Don't act like it doesn't happen. Oh my goodness. So okay, so wait, we got length, width, height, rotation, and time. So we got those 5 dimensions within our 5 basics. Alright, so let's say that's 25 patterns right now we've just given you. Now, let's say we can take some of those things, we can add 2 or 3 different ways of doing each one of them. Now we're at like 75 patterns, right? So math is getting ridiculous at this point. Now, we're gonna take right to right hand hold. Same sugar push. 1, 2, longer. Left to left sugar push. Longer. 2 hands cross sugar push. That's kind of weird. I don't know. Can you go overhead, Kyler, for me?
No. The mics are going out on camera views.
No, they already got it. He fixed it.
Oh.
They fixed it. So, if it is, we'll come back to you guys.
Guys, let us know if the sound is cutting out, please.
This would not be something I would usually do in a sugar push. So, cross hand sugar push, 2 hand sugar push.
Let me tell you, in those creepy 90s, when you would get those drunk creepy old guys that would like bring you in and do that.
Oh, the cleavage push.
Yeah, you know what I would always do?
What?
I would just add a little flip, a leg flip.
Whoa! That was too close for comfort, honey. Okay, so hold on one more time. So, but we could do this. I could do a cross hand, but I would have to elevate and separate. So a cross hand sugar push is there. So discovery, go ahead and flip it back, buddy. Discovery is your friend. Now, I'd have to say 20 years ago, 22 years ago, me and a good friend of mine and Sarah's, Jason Colsino, and I went to Robert, and I was like, he stole my pattern. And Robert's like, what? I'm like, yeah, he stole my pattern. That's my pattern.
They were both coaching with Robert, and they were like fighting. They were like arguing. He stole my pattern.
Arguing about patterns. Yeah, it was really stupid.
So Robert
but he's like,
brings them both in a room.
He's like, come over here. You know that illusion turn that I do? He's like, yeah. You guys think I did that? And I'm like, well, yeah, of course, it's yours. He's like, watch this tape, and he takes out this tape, plugs it into this machine, and eats it. Sometimes it ain't all in.
The fish was this big.
Yes.
He's telling the story, Royston style.
And so he puts it in, and he shows me a video of Atlas Griffith, not within a couple of years, doing that same illusion turn pattern, and he's like, not my pattern. He's like, every pattern's been done. Every move that you could possibly do has probably been done. Doesn't mean you didn't discover it, but it does mean that it's been done.
You don't own it.
You don't own pattern structure. You can discover it, and that's what's fun.
When you discover it,
you still own it.
You found it, and it still has weight to you because that process of realizing or learning or discovering is empowering.
It's also addicting to me. Having a pattern that I find, I chase that all night long. I'll dance all night with a ton of different students, and I'll find like maybe one pattern I haven't done before. I go, remember that?
And he's like, we're gonna teach in the workshop tomorrow.
Save it.
Yeah.
It's in my back pocket.
So I have to say,
hold
followers, this is very much where I'll find my inspiration. So many times when I'm adding, what element I'm choosing to add in pattern work is not based upon the music. Many times it's based upon the pattern structure that my leader took, and the texture that I use on that element is to the music. So for instance, he just used height, right? So in that cross hand, so this lifted up. So many times I may choose to lift up in my texture, in my element, but the texture of it will have a lot to do with the way the music is coming through. And so I want you to start to pay attention to the structure in front of you, the pattern structure in front of you, followers, and find ways to fill elements that complement it. It doesn't always have to be the same, because I can also add rotation in this very easily and still complement this pattern.
But I still get to fulfill what it is I've asked for and not feel like I'm being interrupted. So by discovering pattern structure, it opens us up to a whole new realm of interpretation, all right? So we've got length, width, height, rotation within our sugar push.
So,
hands, sorry, we're in the hands.
Could you do a right to right, underarm turn?
Well, I think we're getting ahead of ourselves.
Okay.
We're only in sugar push right now.
Okay.
Okay,
I'm trying
so.
to speed you along, can you tell?
Oh, I guess so.
Okay.
Okay, so the whole concept here is that I've got length, I've got some width, I've got height, I've got rotation, I've got time, I've got multiple different handholds, I've got the discovery of things that work and the discovery of things that don't work. So when I find things that don't work, I have a very small bucket of crap that doesn't work, all right? But I have a huge bucket of things that will work. So instead of trying to put all the things into the don't do that category, try and navigate yourself through this space and go, can I make this work? So if you do end up with a cross hand hold, left hand over right hand, sugar push. Could you do one of those right now? So if I had this moment, what could I do with that pattern structure? Sarah, can I use you for a second, please?
No, you can't.
Thank you. So I've got a left over right. Well, I know when I had right over left, I could do that sugar push and I could loop this way. So now I'm gonna go left over right this direction. Well, I mean, I could easily do this one. That's just the repeat to that. Could I still keep it on my right side of my body? I could. That's still the sugar push to my follower's footwork and positioning. So I have to learn to keep my follower in a comfort zone that she or he is in kind of used to at this point.
This is why it's so important to get training in good connection, in good counterbalance, in foot articulation, in how you manage rhythm moving through your body, how you manage your balance, how you manage dealing with added momentum. Those kind of things will allow you to enjoy every kind of different pattern work that comes your way.
So if I can, I want to give you the challenge that was given to me once, is take yourself through the concept and find five. Find 5 different patterns within each of your basics. So I've got a basic sugar push, and then I need 5 more.
Mission this week.
Okay, and that's just the first stage of this in this discovery. So at all points, every one of your patterns is always going to have a sub-basic to it. It's going to have to be a sugar push, an underarm turn, a side pass, a whip, or a tuck of some sort. And if it isn't West Coast.
Maybe a starter step.
Starter step, yeah, but that's a pass.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But to me, it really defines the dance when we start giving it a value. To me, the dance pushes, passes, whips, and tucks in 6 and 8 count forms. Now, it could get really boring if we just said this was an underarm turn, but what is an underarm turn? It's a management of my follower's flight through time under my arm on the right side of my body.
6 beats down a slope.
Right. So now if I'm able to produce those things, the other fluff that's on top of that becomes the play stuff that we can get away with.
If I just ran an underarm turn just with my right
Yeah,
hand.
yeah.
Yeah. If I just ran an underarm turn, and I'm gonna do different sizes, and you hopped in, you could grab that technically with this hand, right? Or with this hand, and it's still an underarm turn to me. Or this hand, it's still underarm turn. Or this way, it's still underarm turn. Oh, there's another underarm turn.
Oh, I got one more.
Oh yeah? That's not underarm.
It's an underarm turn.
Not really, because I didn't
It
go
kind of
underarm.
is. It's a pass of some sort.
It's a side pass. It's a side pass.
No, you turn the
Side
other
pass.
direction.
No.
Side pass turns over the left
No.
side.
Okay.
See, you know I'm right.
I can't wait. I'm so glad
She
this
knows
is
I'm right.
recorded.
She knows I'm
I'm
right.
so glad this is recorded.
So let's get back to this. So we've got
A little loud.
5 different patterns,
Mm-hmm.
multiple different dimensions,
Mm-hmm.
and multiple different handholds. Now, how can we start to blend this stuff? I could take a left to left underarm turn a little bit wider. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Still an underarm turn, still the footwork that my followers used to, but I now elevated the pattern structure, but it's not so far outside the box that my follower can't jump on
And
board.
to a lot of you, that's a new pattern. And so what if you understood when you watch something that it wasn't so intimidating for you to learn, because you can go like this. All right, what's a sub basic? Is it 6 or 8? Because they're calling it West Coast swing, so it needs to be one of those things.
Now we have
Unless it's actually a labeled variation, because come on, there's those, and thank God. But does it push past whip or tuck? 6 or 8? What
hand?
shapes? What hand? And if you can look at it that way, it's not so intimidating, right?
It's a management skill.
Right.
I mean, I can drive 10 and 2. I can also drive with one hand, with one hand, with one hand, with that hand, my knee, all these other things. Not that I'm going to lead that way, but it can. I can start to play with this if I discover it and I'm able to make these things happen. How many of us get to this position right here? Ooh, right to right, side pass. Hand change. If we practice it, we know it's there, we know its options, we know how to produce it. I didn't over-yank my follower, I know the skill sets of a side pass, so I know the initiation should feel spooling, it should have the rotational initiation, it should follow through to get my follower some timing into that. So even if I'm sitting back to back in the cross hand, I still think that this has to produce what this produced over here before. So I need to make sure I rotate and spool to get her to move, I follow through, get my follower to come around, and I finish the pattern structure out. So it still has the element that my follower understands, the side pass part of it. Yes? Now, last bit of these handholds to stuff is blending our dimensions. So I could take a normal handhold, and I could take a sugar push, and I could go height to rotation. And now I've just changed 2 elements to give my follower a new dimension. So I could take the same concept and start to build on top of it. So I challenge all of you to take this time and learn your basics.
And if you're
Learn
by
to drive
yourself, if you're working by yourself, leaders, it'd be really, really cool for you to actually practice doing this and envision taking that hand and adding different elements. And followers, if you're working by yourself this week, making sure that you're choosing at one point, just try this. Do a sugar push sideways in the slot. Come forward, 2, 3, 4, and fill all the elements of a sugar push. Learn to try to fulfill pattern work in different shapes, different sizes. Add height, add rotation, add width. Keep it moving down the slot.
Do you remember the person that had a conniption fit? The one time I said, okay, hold right to right and turn backwards, now do a sugar push. And they about had, their head almost exploded. They
and they were a good 5 US Opens.
They were they knew their dance. And just to turn around and do that was
and I
so
feel
foreign.
like if any of you go through this, so I've dealt with this with some of my all-star and champion level also. If it is difficult for you to talk, if it is difficult for you to stand in place and without anchoring or stretching or anything, if you cannot go 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, and 6, boom, tick, boom, and tick, boom, and tick. And if you cannot talk and run your basic rhythm while doing something else, this is your biggest nemesis. I want you to do this in dancing. I want you to do this. Kitchen sinks this week. If that's difficult while you're doing something else, I want you to run your rhythm underneath your body.
Walk, walk, triple, triple.
This will help you so much in being able to absorb changes in musicality and connections. When you have that rhythm, remember the movie Dirty Dancing, the ga-gung, ga-gung, when that walk, walk, triple, triple is your default, and you can move around and keep that rhythm going without thinking about it, you will have so much fun in West Coast Swing, and so much more will fall into place. So that is
West Coast Swing.
Wednesday tune-ups.
I was gonna say, say West Coast Swing the next level. But, all right. Smooth, Sarah.
That is West Coast Swing the next level.
So once again, 5 basic pattern structures, multiple different hand changes, multiple different dimensions, all with the ability for us to learn to find our pattern structure and adjust our basics to fit around our musicality. Yeah? So, do we have something else we're doing?
Yes. Tomorrow night, we're going to support our community and finding ways of opening the discussion. Please get involved any way possible right now. Any discussions you see going on in our community that we could help build or in your community at home, do it, do it, do it, do it. That's what we're about right now. Please join us and be a part of our membership program.
Yeah, Sunday.
You can go sign up right now. The new website will launch Monday, but there is all of the information is on our old school website right now. And Sunday, Robert Royce and anybody who's a part of his Sunday Science, we are going to do a private tour Sunday of the website.
Yeah. So
Robert's
right after,
gonna MC
so Sunday
it.
Science is from our time. We're 9 to 11, right?
Yes.
So I think he's
We'll
noon
probably
till
be
2.
streaming it from our
Yeah.
website live also, so you guys will be on our live stream members page. So once you sign up to be a part of our membership program, you are part of a Facebook group that we tend to quite a bit throughout the week. Thank you so much for joining us. It is so great, all of you that stopped by and said hello. I always go back and read the comments, and it means so much. Thank you to our fellow professionals that are popping up and saying hi. Please continue to support your local professionals, your internationally traveling professionals, yes, and also support yourself. Take some time to unplug and smell the roses or watch somebody live the simple life for a minute, because it sure helped me with Savannah this week. And we love you guys.
Please show up Sunday to Sunday Science with
Next
Robert,
Wednesday,
so you can see this.
you want to take this class? Hop on kylesarah.com. You can register there. If you're going to come every week, you might as well be a member. It's way cheaper.
And we do offer a monthly fee, so you don't have to do it all at once. We understand that it's a big expense.
We know.
We do.
We
We
get it.
understand. We've signed
We
up for a
love
ton
you
of stuff
guys
ourselves.
so much, and we will see you all soon. Mackenzie Goodmanson just hopped on. I saw she's doing a really cool thing, Top Chef. That looks really cool. Please support you guys everything that you can.
Oh yeah,
I know
the
you
Top
already
Chef
are.
thing. Great job with that,
Thank you
Mackenzie.
for being here for us.
Awesome.
Come sign up.
All right, guys. We'll see you next week.
Love you guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.